Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to our conference, Longevity in Genetics 2014. My name is Carrie Wong, and I'm the Executive Director of the Lifespan Society of British Columbia. I'm the main organizer for this event, and I'd like to thank you all for making it out here today. This is our third annual conference. Last year, we held a conference on longevity in the brain, and we had a neuroscientist and a medical student to come in to speak about ways you can protect your mind from neurodegeneration due to aging. This year, we're flying in scientists from all over the United States to come present to us on a variety of different topics, including, of course, genetics and how that pertains to longevity. We have researchers from a variety of different backgrounds, from gerontology to genetics, and even to the big picture thinking of sociology. So I hope you enjoy our conference today, and I'd like to introduce our president and founder of the society, Luke Cockerham, to say a few words about Lifespan Society of British Columbia and what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Good morning. I want to welcome everybody here to the third Lifespan BC conference. This is our largest one yet. I'm really excited to see all of you guys here. As she said, my name is Luke Cockerham. I am, in my other life, I'm a practicing dentist out in the Fraser Valley, but I always say that's my day job, and this is my fun job. So anyway, I want to thank our sponsors today. We had some generous sponsors, and it's really great to have them on board with this. Longecity.org, they've been backing us for a while now. Fantastic sponsors. Life Extension Foundation, you guys might have got the magazine when you came in today. Another great organization that we've been happy to work with over the years. And then also the Georgia Strait for backing us as well. I'd also like to thank our volunteers that are helping out today. You guys are going to see these people. They're all over the place. They're getting your registration there. They're helping out with the equipment, and just a really great team we've had. I'm very thankful for all these people helping out. I also want to thank you guys, the audience, for coming out today. I know we have people who have come in from quite a ways here. I see people from Washington, we have people from Vancouver Island, I've heard even Alberta, maybe Saskatchewan. So just by show of hands here, how many people from Vancouver? All right, great. Guys, don't forget to vote. The polling station will be open till 8 over at the Art Gallery, just a couple streets over there. Anybody from out of town? All right. Anybody from out of the Fraser Valley? All right. And anybody from out of BC? All right. Man, round of applause for those guys. Thank you. So let's take a look at the Lifespan Society. Some of you are more familiar with us than others. We have some brand new people here today. We at Lifespan Society are a longevity community. We advocate for access to life extension technologies. We collaborate with like-minded institutions and individuals who are pursuing the breakthroughs necessary for radical life extension. We seek to engage and educate our local community. Our mission is to promote and protect access to science-based strategies for extending healthy human lifespan. But this morning, I'm going to take a little detour from our usual subject matter, and we're going to talk about death. Because while we ardently support multiple pathways to life extension, we are opposed to inhumane forms of life extension. In fact, it's a little-known secret that several Lifespan members very often attend the Dying with Dignity events. So personal autonomy is a core value at the heart of our mission. To illustrate what I'm talking about, there's a story I have. A few years ago, when I was in my pre-med days, I was volunteering at a hospital, and I met an elderly gentleman who was a patient there. And he was attached to quite a bit of machinery. He had tubes coming out of his arm, and he was taking a lot of medications. His quality of life was very poor. And he told me something that I hadn't thought of before. And his actual words were just, he said, I've lived too long. I've been kept alive too long here. And it wasn't his goal to do that. It wasn't something that he wanted to do. But it was a case where his family was not prepared to let him go, and they had given the medical staff instructions to do every possible thing to keep him alive. And it was a new thought to me. I was still a teenager at the time, and I realized that he was right, that he had been kept alive in a way that was not, taking into account his goals and his values, his life, and also the fact that he was in misery. So I just want to make clear that that's not the kind of life extension that we favor here. We certainly support personal autonomy. That's a core value. And when people often hear about life extension, they have this idea in mind of a decrepit person being extended a few more days and, a lot of more tubes and wires attached to them. And that's there's a medical term for the condition of morbidity. So mortality is when you're just dead. But morbidity is when you're still alive, but you're in a condition you don't want to be in anymore. And so we want to extend life, but not extend morbidity. That is not our goal. And fortunately for us, most people on Earth actually agree with this goal on a practical day-to-day basis. I've got a little video clip here. This was a recent ad that was run by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. We have sound?
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide. The average Canadian will spend their last 10 years in sickness. Change your future at makehealthlast.ca.
Yeah, so they're not explicitly calling for life extension there, but they're definitely on board with this idea of health extension. And that's, like I say, very much what we are in favor of as well. So let's talk about how we get there. Pathways to life extension. What methods do we have available to us? We have an online forum, our website at lifespanbc.ca, and on there we have several sections of areas that you can work on and learn about. Starting with diet and lifestyle, fitness and exercise. We have an area for supplements, regenerative medicine, cryonics, and what's called whole brain emulation or mind uploading. Now, these topics obviously range from the very mundane and straightforward to some pretty highly speculative stuff. And most of our members find that they have one or two areas that they're really interested in, and then some of the rest of us is not that interesting to them. In fact, I'd say almost everybody is going to have their preferences on this. But I think the value of Lifespan is we bring all these people together who have these different areas and make it so they won't forget about the other things. So let's say you want to extend life by, creating an AI and doing some mind uploading, and you put your whole life into that. Well, that's probably not going to happen for a few years. You probably should, also remember to eat your vegetables and get some exercise and those kind of things. So I think that's a great purpose. And our goal is to actually have positive peer feedback You know, a lot of this life extension stuff is all done online. You know, there's all these online communities and web forums, and I think it's very important to have a real world human interaction. So I think that's an important part of it. And there's also just a information overload. So it's nice to have a peer group where other people are also out there that are learning about these things, and they can, you can interact with them and kind of learn from what they've learned as well. So, over the last 2 years, the Lifespan Society has planned over 50 events. Our most popular ones are the life extension hikes. We have one coming up actually tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, out at the Stanley Park seawall. You guys are all invited to that. Movie nights, we do these quite often, especially in the winter. Works a little better for movie nights. There's also regular CrowdBC meetings every other month. In addition, we sponsored a talk at Whole Foods recently about the Loma Linda lifestyle of longevity. We brought in Carrie who's a registered dietitian and nutritionist. Very interesting talk there. We've gone to a theater production called Your Very Star. I think some of you guys were at that. We've attended the last 3 Maker Fairs. This is our first time there with the Vancouver Transhumanist group. The second year, we had our own shirts. And then this last year, for those of you who were there, you remember we had the ultraviolet photo booth where you could actually see the sun damage to your skin and or the protection of people who are wearing sunscreen. So that was neat to see. More recently, we've made liquid nitrogen ice cream. Thanks to James for setting that up for us. That was a lot of fun at our Cool Cryonics party. And just this last August, we made it up to Victoria. We finally had an event over there, and we got to meet some of the new people as well as some of our existing members who are located over in Victoria. So that's been great. We've also attended events at various other places like Toronto, Florida, Arizona. And last summer, we all got in some cars and carpooled down to Portland, where we attended a conference that was there. That was a lot of fun. Did beach day. We did a few other things around the area here. Even though we're located mostly in Vancouver, I certainly see us expanding, having more local events in other parts of the province as we grow. So that's going to be great. The other major project we've been working on is human rights advocacy. This is a multi-year project we've been engaged in for, I would say, 2011 at least, although some people have been working on it even longer than that. We're privileged to have several people involved working with this who have legal expertise and skill and ability there. Just recently, Keegan and Carrie were featured in a magazine cover article, so that was pretty cool to see them up there for their efforts on this project, and that's still ongoing. So Lifespan Society, we're basically a small part of a worldwide movement. There are, like I said, a lot of online groups and organizations, various local ones around the world, and so it's been really great. I've had the chance to travel and over the last 7 years meet several of the leaders in life extension around the world. This is Linda Chamberlain. Her and her husband and a couple of volunteers started up a small nonprofit in Southern California over 40 years ago. And it's just grown and has kind of a worldwide reach now, so that was neat. Another friend I met, Kelsey Moody, some of you guys might have heard of him. He's still in medical school. And while in medical school, he has finished his MBA and started up a small biotech company. Is employing some scientists, and they're actually working to create artificial blood right now. So he actually, when he applied to medical school, they did the usual, so why do you want to be a doctor? And he didn't give them the usual, so I can help people. Instead, he said, I'd like to start up biotech companies. But they still let him go to medical school anyway, so that was neat. So everybody here, you guys have all received a free 1-year membership to Lifespan Society. It's normally a $30 value. I hope you guys will have a chance to take advantage of that. I hope to see you out at some of our events. In the future, we have a bunch of options of where we can grow. These are things we're looking at here. I'll just skip over some of these. But the Longevity Village, I think, is a really cool long-term thing. if you guys have heard of the blue zones, the places in the world where people live longer. And I think it'd be really cool once we are large enough to actually sponsor this would be an idea for more of an urban longevity village and something more of a rural one. You know, either of those would be options. That's way down the road. So yeah, I'd like to invite you guys to become involved in whatever areas you're interested. Certainly, you know, join the meetup, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. I want to thank you for joining us today, and we'll just get set up in a few minutes here. We'll have Cosmo up on the stage. Thank you.